Welcome to the Gus Podcast, Curious by Nature, where we explore the people, ideas, and stories that make Glen Urquhart School such a vibrant community. In this episode, I sit down with veteran Gus teacher Elliott Buck to explore what keeps her inspired after 35 plus years in the classroom. We talk about joy, mindfulness, leadership, and the magic of letting kids lead their own learning. I'm your host for this episode, Gretchen Forsyth, and I'm glad you're listening. I'm here with Elliott Buck, one of our second grade teachers who has been teaching for, a very long time.
More than 35 years.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about, how she still finds joy in the work, how the start of a school year feels to her, and, why she keeps coming back year after year.
I'm really excited to talk about that. Well, it means saying goodbye to summer. It means saying hello to familiar faces. And I'm always so energized and excited about a fresh beginning. So each fall to me feels like a fresh page. And it's a time for me to connect and build relationships.
You are actually very well known for building relationships with students.
It's one of my favorite things to do. And this may sound funny, but one of my favorite things is to have parent-teacher conferences. I love them, and I love being a team and figuring out and having the kids know that we're a team and that they've got their parents, they've got their teachers, and we're here to support them. So that's one of my favorite things.
We just had conferences.
And we did. And I feel like some of them went on much longer than necessary, but I loved every minute of it. And I feel like they're always productive.
What are some of the things you share?
We share how a student's feeling. We interview the kids before and we say, what do you want us to tell your parents? And most of the kids say, I want them to know that I'm a hard worker. And the kids are so serious and they're so dedicated to their work. I love it so much.
Remember my conference with you when my daughter Libby was in, or maybe it was Charlotte. One of them was in second grade. But and you were telling me about how she was doing counting, and you showed me a video of her skip counting, and you actually showed me like a video of her reading.
Yes,
which I thought was very powerful because not only were you telling me how she was doing, but you showed like real evidence.
Yes, the evidence is the best. It's so much fun. And we get the kids we'll say to the kids, we're going to show your parents this. And then they can practice it. I remember Libby read Log Hotel. She sat out on a log and read, and I said it was one of my favorite books, which in fact it still is.
So far this year, is there something that stands out as being like really fun or like needs something special to you?
So one of the things about Gus is that we have a nature trail and we're always outside and we're always using that. I would say the first day we went out there, we were practicing mindfulness and we said, nature will come to you when you're quiet. And so we had 19 kids, now 20, who quietly walked through the nature trail as quiet as they could, noticing everything, all the surroundings. And so I feel like that just develops that love for nature right away.
You do a lot of mindfulness.
I do.
Can you tell me just like, where did that start?
I feel like yoga and mindfulness come to you when you need it most. And I was going through a tricky time in my life and I started doing yoga and mindfulness. And I thought, this is exactly what kids need early on so that they can have these lifelong skills. And so I thought it helped me and I thought, why not? Teachers and kids grow together. So I just jumped right in. I took mindfulness courses and tried it out with kids and they love it.
I love your affirmations.
Oh, we do too.
What are some of the best affirmations that kids have?
Let's see. I am enough. I love that one. I am enough. Possibilities are endless. My voice matters. And one of the kids had said, I said, well, wait, describe affirmations. And they said, it's like giving yourself a pep talk over and over. And you can have a student, except let's say they don't have very much confidence in math. We might say, oh, just use your affirmations. Like, I can do hard things. That's another good one. I can do hard things. And if they repeat it over and over, then they start to believe it. And it's like a miracle. It comes true. So it's all tied together with growth mindset, the power of yet. Like, you might not be able to do something yet, yet, but then they get that.
What are like your favorite? I don't know. Well, if you tell me what you want to
So
talk about.
I want to just talk about, so we were learning how to use binoculars this fall. And that's a real craft because you have to figure out the central wheel, the focus. You've got to put the strap around your neck, and adjust the eye cups all at the same time. And so we were learning that. And the goal was figure out how to use the binoculars safely. And then we can go bird watching. And I had a student say to me, they always make you laugh. I mean, that's what brings me so much joy. Um, One kid said, now that my bird spotting skills are approved, can we just go birding now? And so I just love that. It made me chuckle. There's always, every single day, the kids say things that make you think about your teaching. They make you think about yourself. And all in all, we're a team together, learning and growing.
Yeah, and the team.
The
I think
team.
about conferences too. Like it's definitely includes the families.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
So can you talk a little bit more about like growth mindset and like what does that look like in your classroom?
I feel like with growth mindset, we tell the kids, you might not be able to do something yet, but you have to be open to make mistakes and to be learning, and that you get to try it again the next day. You're going to grow. I'm going to stretch your mind. That's my job as your teacher. We need to stretch and we're going to grow. And it's not always easy. And you might not always want to do it, but that's how we learn. And we just keep trying and trying. And I think, I use the kids as my guide often. They'll call me on it. I would say, I'm not an art teacher and I'm really not that good at art. And the kids will say, come on, practice what you're saying, Miss Buck, you've got to practice this. So it really is a practice.
I think I know the answer a little bit from what you're talking about, but tell me a little bit of what does success look like in your classroom for a kid?
One of the things I love to say is everyone has their own work. If they were all working on the same thing, that would be boring, right? Some kids are working on focusing. Some kids are working on following directions. Some kids are working on adding more detail. Some kids are working on forming their letters. It's all different. And we just look for progress. Like, are you making progress? And what one child is doing is different from what another child needs to do. And I feel like we all come together and the kids help each other. We're all one big community helping each other.
You mentioned a bunch of things that I think are like so essential to like Gus experience, like this kind of personalized aspect that the child's known. But there's also like a really big community aspect of, I think, the success you're talking about in the classroom.
Yes.
So what do you do to foster like those connections between kids?
Oh, well, here's a big one. Something I've given more focus to this year is making sure that every student has a chance to be a leader. And like, let's say somebody finishes something early, like we were doing these great tree books and one student was done and he was helping somebody else. He had done a really good job. He was writing about how he appreciated his tree and somebody missed that and they had to get help from him. So it's finding ways where kids can shine and show each other what their talents are and sort of encourage each other along the way. And I think that builds a lot of connection.
And confidence.
And confidence for sure. And, I might say, oh, Professor Forsyth, it's your turn, so we make a little joke about calling them professors and assistant teachers and just having fun with that.
And how do you model as like a teacher? Like, how do you model learning?
Here's a good one. So this year we have a lot of new teachers and I love to collaborate. I always feel like one brain is not enough and you need the kids involved and you need the other teachers. And we have a couple of new teachers. So I decided that I would work with the art teacher and the science teacher on these tree books. And the end result was unbelievable. We have this whole new book that has art in it. It has the science component. It has writing and creativity. And so I thought that was a really great learning experience because the kids decided, well, what's the layout of it? What goes on this page? And we're going to, and some of it was, you have to put 2 facts on this page. Some of it was you're drawing your picture, you're drawing your diagram, but it was kids and new teachers, old teachers. I've been doing this project for 12 years and it gets better and better every year with new ideas from the kids and new teachers. So that was really fun for me.
Can you talk about the feathers and the play that become a second grade.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Message and like how that started and came about.
Actually kind of fun. So we study birds pretty much all year long, and there's a book called Feathers Aren't Just for Flying, and the students learn about the role that each feather plays. And one year the kids were like, can we do a play? And I thought, well, that was when I was teaching with Maggie, and we were like, let's do a play.
Yeah.
And so why not? And actually, the kids make their own costumes. We literally might help them with a beak or with something. But getting back to the leadership and having kids shine, one year, one student was really good at making a cape that looked like feathers. And so she was in charge of that for everyone. And then last year, I went and got her down in 4th grade and said, you need to come back to 2nd grade and help us. So every year we've done this play, and it keeps getting better and better, and we keep building on it. But the kids love it, and, you know, they make their costumes, and then they do the set design, and, you know, it all kind of comes together. It's kind of run by the kids. I'm just really overseeing.
Facilitating.
I'm facilitating.
The best.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes a Gus education so unique is this idea that the kids are really pushing the learning.
Yes.
And like we are just facilitating and guiding.
I love it because we're studying maps, and the kids want to do all these different things, and I'm using them. I know what I want to do, but they're coming up with ideas that I wouldn't have come up with. And then that means they're just invested and it's taking a whole new life. So I love that. And it makes it interesting as a teacher. Like it's not the same every year, and it's generated by the kids.
That you touched on too, like why a Gus teacher is a different kind of teacher. Like you said, why not? So tell me a little bit about like what that feels like to teach in that way, and like what is it about teaching at Gus that keeps you coming back? Well,
that is exactly it. I love that I get to do my own thing and really take the kids' interests, and then I can stretch and grow. And it's like my sanctuary. I mean, sometimes I can't believe this is my job, like coming in and being with 20 kids, and we're with the kids longer than their families sometimes. And so, you know, I take that job really seriously. And I think, Gus, you know, it's trust and go forward. I know that you've given me the trust and you trust me, like do what you want to do. Yeah. And that's such a beautiful thing because it's not a, you know, yes, we have a curriculum, but it can go in a different way every year. And that's one of the things I really, truly love. The content is the same. Yeah. What your expectations are for the grade and skill building is the same, but how you get there can be different. And that's what's so exciting because it's different every year. I would be so bored if it was exactly the same every single year. That'd be no fun for anyone. And the kids, I like saying, well, what do you think? Let's figure it out. What do you want to do? And they come up with better ideas than any curriculum program or anybody would, really. Well, and I think that's what we're trying to do here. Like teach them how to think, right? And think for themselves. Definitely. I also love that when you do some things that are the same every year, the kids in front of you change it. Right. So I'm thinking like the Heritage Project. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Yes. And then how every year it's like so different. I don't know what we're going to do this. Well, and then also we have new kids and new teachers. So it's going to be great. What do they do for that? It's our Heritage Project, and we pick someone in our family or a close friend, could be a neighbor or someone who's had some experience in life, and the kids interview them. They think of questions that we want to ask them, and every year that's different. And then it used to be just do a portrait and write a piece about it. But now it's turned into advice. Like we have this whole advice section. We have a cookbook. And then each family researches a recipe that their family enjoys. And then they cook it and we celebrate in our greenhouse, which is such a great place to do that. They'll sing a song that goes with it. One year it was a 2nd grade anthem. And so the kids think about their year in 2nd grade and then they make up the song. And then sometimes they do an anthem and then they vote on what anthem they like. So really we'll see what people want to do. Maybe there'll be a whole new, probably a mapping. Maybe we'll do a family tree. And I know we want to add a Spanish component this year. So it's always evolving. And that's what's so great. Curriculum is never the same. I mean, it is the same, but it's evolving. The why. And the vehicle in which we share the information with kids is like about what they need and what is going to resonate most with them. I think I talked about this, like how personalized the educational experience. Well, and the other thing is kids need to feel safe and secure. And when you build that, when you spend the time to build the community and the foundation in the beginning of the year, they're going to really shine in the best way that they can. And they're going to come up with things. They're going to come up with activities to do themselves.
I talk about that a lot, about like kids feeling like comfortable and how essential that is to really learning. So not to be afraid to take mistakes and to know that everything's going to be their own thing. And it's funny. I know that our school does this. And at hearing you talk about second grade, it's like, oh, there's all the examples of second grade. And there are examples of that in every grade.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
That build on that. I mean, our spiral isn't just about the content. It's really also about those like kind of emotional piece of learning and growing that is also unique to us. Which I think is also what makes us love working here.
Yeah.
Because we are part of their lives, not just as a teacher. You are a coach, a mentor, and kids stay connected to you even after.
Just yesterday, somebody came back who graduated last year, and that student came in, and we talked for 20 minutes. And I said, well, hey, if you ever want to come in and do any work here, because you might have some community service or you might want to be a teacher. So we had this long conversation. That child will come back. Then last week, 2 students came in and they read a book. They said, oh, we remember doing mindfulness with you and Peace Rocks. So they read a whole book about growth mindset and mindfulness to the second graders. They just took over. And I just sat there and I said, I can't believe it. But they all come back, and I did sort of set myself up. I give the kids Peace Rocks, and every year at the beginning of the year, I go to the beach before school starts and I pick a rock and I say, oh, it's going to be a good year. And I sort of, get myself excited and enjoying one last moment at the beach. But I give them their Peace Rocks. And I say, if you still have your Peace Rock when you graduate, I'll take you to Captain Dusty's. Well, the kids are doing that. So I'm saving up for, I love that.
Last year's graduates.
Yeah. Well, and then I said, well, this year, let's see. When will they graduate? In 8 years? Maybe I'll still be here, but I bet you I won't be retired. I'll probably going to be retired at that point. But anyway, I said, you can find me. I'll still come back. I'll treat them. But anyway.
I know. I think that's really sweet, though, that the connections last. We did the introductions of the graduates at graduation. And last year for one of the students, I don't know if you caught it, but I used part of the guided meditation they wrote in second grade.
That's right.
It was all about like clouds.
Yes,
and, like,
I do.
And the message to them was hold on to that.
Yeah.
Love that. Like imagination and that kind of like lightness
so great.
about them, because that can be the thing you lose as you get older.
Yeah. And you think about like every day is so valuable. Every minute of the day with these kids is so valuable.
So what would you want people who don't know about Gus to know?
The minute you walk in, you're going to love it. When you walk in the door, it's just like this welcoming environment, and you're going to see kids laughing and playing, teachers. It's a busy place. It's a happy place. You just come visit.
Is there anything else that we haven't talked about or hit up?
If you're not a teacher, you should consider being a teacher. It's very rewarding. Knowing that it sounds like making a difference in their lives. We do. Everything we do is so important. And that whole connection, especially in this day and age, there's so much going on in the world, and just having kids know that they're valued and seen and trying to be positive.
It's so funny because, we're doing some other podcasts and I've said the various things. Like, I feel like the work we're doing here does have the ability to change the world.
It does.
Make it a better place.
And these kids want to. Yeah. They already want to. Like, second graders are already like, my voice matters and I can change the world and I can do this. So I love that we empower them at such an early age, and, they get that confidence, and you see it already. I mean, we've had 43 or 44 days of school, and already I've seen my kids they're growing the confidence, and, they're really stretching their minds already. I love it.
Yeah, and I think they do, because those kind of messages are like, they get them over and over and over here, that when they leave, there is a kind of like a unique confidence to them in that way. We talk about keeping kids and how that's really important. But in our efforts to do that, like I think the way you're talking about it, there is a sophistication that develops.
Yes.
Like a worldliness.
Yes.
Even though we're this little school.
Definitely.
Which is so funny when you think about it. You think, oh, they're so small. But no, the messages are so big and powerful.
Well, and one of the things I think we do really well early on is these kids are sharing at all school meeting, which, they're doing it at kindergarten. Eventually, pre-K will do it in a couple of months. And they're so confident. They're almost, we do the land acknowledgement in second grade or the mindful moment. They all want to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do it. And so I think that's, we're just setting the stage for these kids for success.
I do think too that Gus is a journey that's like meant to be
Definitely.
into grade and not just like 1 year. Like you can go for 1 year, that's totally awesome.
Oh yeah.
But the more that you are connected to, like you get to feel that spiral and that connection between like the things that you're talking about are like the same things they're talking about in third grade and fourth grade, and
you're just building upon it.
In eighth grade, I think is really cool.
I mean, I think everything we do is so intentional here. And, for me, I feel like, I teach to connect. That's my thing. I just connecting. And, you're connecting with your students, your families, your colleagues. And, that's a beautiful thing, to have all those adults and kids all together just creating this great experience.
Thanks for listening to the Gus Podcast, Curious by Nature. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and let us know what you want to hear about next. If you're interested in learning more about Gus, please visit gus.org. We're grateful to have you with us, and until next time, stay curious.